Welcome back to Do Theology. I'm Jeremy over in Utah, and I'm here with the poster boy of Shepherd's Theological Seminary.
Oh, come on.
Ken Chipchase from Indiana, the literal poster boy. His face is on the poster, I believe on multiple posters. And when they set up both of their banners like they did at G3, I think you're in two banners.
Here's the thing. So, yes, I'm a student at Shepherd's Theological Seminary. It's mostly online. I've been on campus twice.
And it was picture day, apparently, both days.
The first day I was on campus, it was picture day, and they said, oh, hey, can you help and be a part of this? And I didn't want to say no. I mean, I did want to say no, but I wasn't going to say no. So I got a part of all of that, and they took a bunch of pictures, and now I'm on some of their promo material.
Yeah, you are.
Alas. Yeah.
Well, we're going to share with you another interview that we conducted at G3. But before that, Ken, since you're the one who edits and stuff, our material, you want to give the listeners an update about what they can expect for our future episodes, because we are now kind of behind on our hermeneutics series, and they might be wondering what's going on. So I'm just going to put that ball in your court and let you give them an update.
Sure, yeah. So we recorded our next episode for our hermeneutics series, and then as I was beginning to pull together that and editing it a little bit, I started listening to the audio, and to this day, I do not know exactly what happened, but the audio was not good. So we decided it would be best to re-record that, but of course, right in the middle of all that was G3, and so with schedules and things, we were not able to get our recording finished in time, so we're going to have to, it's just going to be delayed a week, okay? So it should have come out on the, the 5th, it should have come out on the 5th, and now it's going to come out on the 12th, I think, something like that. Lord willing, barring any additional technological so.
Well, we have our episode with Dr. Michael Vlock already recorded, and so
yes.
Do you think we could put that one out on the 19th, kind of make up for lost time? We were doing every other week, and now we could put out episodes in back-to-back weeks to reward people for waiting so patiently.
Yeah, we can do that.
All right. Cool beans. Well, while we were at G3, before we went to G3, I should say, we asked through social media if any of our podcast followers were going to be at G3, and we got a few responses. Gave free T-shirts to those who were there. One of those people is Jesse Coulter of the Springfield area in Missouri, kind of my stomping grounds. I grew up in mid-Missouri. And anyway, got to meet some listeners. That was really cool, and met Jesse, and he was telling me about how he got introduced to our podcast, and I was telling Ken about it, and we thought, hey, let's interview him and have that conversation be a little episode. So that's what this is. We recorded a little tiny interview with Jesse about his testimony and about how he got introduced to the podcast. So that's what we got for you today. Hope you enjoyed the listen, and next week you will be hearing more from our hermeneutics series. Right, Ken?
But Lord willing.
Right, Ken?
If the Lord wills.
So yes?
If the Lord wills.
Okay, all right. Good enough. Enjoy the show.
Yeah.
All right, we're back at the G3 conference again. We are tucked away to the side from all the vendors, and we're here with a listener wearing a Do Theology shirt. The listeners who attended here, we got free shirts. So if you're a listener and you attended and you didn't get a free shirt, sorry about that. It's probably our bad. But you can get that in the store, and you can also get this sticker. Is this the side it's on?
Yep,
yeah,
right
there you go. Keep Doctrine in its Place sticker at store.dotheology.com. Check that out. But Jesse's a listener, and I was talking to Jesse a little bit at the conference, and he was telling me about how he got familiar with our podcast. So yeah, just share the story you shared with me. That was cool.
Yeah, so I was kind of going through Facebook looking for just kind of scrolling, and I'd seen somebody had posted and asked, what are some good theological podcasts out there, and your cousin's husband actually posted the Do Theology podcast. So I was like, I was lacking in that area of my life. So I was like, well, I'll just start listening to it. And of course, you had like about 3 seasons on there. And so we were remodeling our house, and I just throw it in my earbuds and just kind of went to town and just listened to 3 seasons within probably a month period. And kind of deep dive, and then the ones that I like struggled with, I'd go back and listen to, and so that's kind of where I went with that. So
good. Cool.
Yeah. So it's one of the. Was the chart helpful in the midst of that? So we have the chart that's kind of connected and working through with the seasons and everything.
Yeah. Did you tell us when you asked the chart into your heart?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like how you guys are the pushing of the chart. It's almost like a drug dealer. Like, hey, here's some things we need you to like understand. But no, the chart was super helpful for me because like I struggled to like figure out where to place certain things. I don't struggle with the primary. It was those secondary, tertiary things that I struggled with. And so understanding like those types of things, and I'm pretty in line with. I couldn't tell you which ones I'm not completely in line with, but I'm pretty much in line with everything that's on there. But I think the most helpful thing was I think it was season 2, and you guys turned it on its head a little bit by saying, hey, you can't just look at it as a linear chart. You actually have to, it's a 3-dimensional chart, and look at those secondary and tertiary things through the primary lens.
Yes, it limits, the primary column limits everything else.
Right, and that really helped me out because like, you take drinking for instance, like, hey, is drinking, okay, well that's a conscience saying it's a tertiary issue, but we are commanded not to be drunkards. Yes. And so that becomes then a primary type issue. And so that was super helpful for me to understand how that all works. So
yeah. And you said you became a Christian about 10 years ago?
Yes, about 10 years ago.
Tell us that story. How did that happen?
So I'll try to shorten this as best I can. I was in the military. Me and my wife met in the military. We actually met in Baghdad. We came home. She said she wanted to get back into church. I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, and I was just fellowshipped when I was 18. But so I was really turned off by religion in general. Then we were down in Georgia, Fort Benning, Georgia. Started going to a church. It was prosperity gospel type church, but in that I was part of a men's group, and kind of connected me there. I didn't really enjoy it, but then one day I was out running, just really convicted while I was out for a run, and just asked God. I was just like, I'm here, this is where I'm at. And it's funny because like, I'm reformed, and looking back, I say, oh yeah, I asked God into my heart, but like, he was telling me you're mine. And that's how I see it now. So it's really cool. And so so that was in 2011, and then we moved back to Missouri. But I just over the last, I would say I've always been reformed. I just didn't understand what that meant, and then got into our church early on, and then sat down with good elders. One in particular, Nathan Johnson. Me and him would talk, and we would go through Bible study and understand what I was understanding through, whether it was an R.C. Sproul's book or anything like that, and understand that theology and where I'm at. And so, it's kind of how.
What about your wife? When did she become a Christian?
So she was baptized when she was young, but then when we got back from Iraq, about a year before I became a Christian, she had become a Christian, and it was kind of a divided house for a while, and not so much like it wasn't like I was stopping her from church, but it was just like I felt like the tension and that kind of thing. But so she's about a year before I did. So
that's cool. Well, that's great. You're on the same page now. We in our church deal with so many households that are split religiously,
right?
And that is so tough. On everybody. So good.
Great. Well, thanks so much for coming, and
thanks for having me, guys.
Good
to see you guys. Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll cut it there.